UFC. I am the greatest combat actor of all time.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to this episode of Tell the Tape. I'm your host, Henry Cejudo, aka Triple C, and on today's episode of Tell the Tape, I'm going to be breaking down, that's right, Mr. Secret Juice himself, Paulo Costa versus the Reaper, Robert Whittaker. What makes this fight special? Who is it that's gonna have the upper hand coming out in these next couple of weeks? Guys, this episode wouldn't be possible without our sponsor. That's right, I'm talking about Aptive. If you are a former wrestler, former fighter that doesn't like to take no for an answer, Aptive is for you. I mean, you talk about a family. These guys will teach you how to sell. They will house you. They will fly you out and teach you how to sell. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, you will be going door to door knocking, but guess what? When you make it, you make it. I know kids out of high school that are making $500,000 a year that are foregoing college. So you guys make sure to go to summersales.org/Triple-C because it's time to level up. Here we have it. Robert Whittaker number 3 versus Paulo Costa number 6. I'm still surprised that Paulo's number 6. I mean, this dude fights once every 2 years. 24-7 versus 14-2. I mean, right away, you know what I look at? I look at experience, man. I really do. Robert Whittaker has fought everybody from Yoel Romero to Israel Adesanya. So has Paulo Bohashinya. But then look at this. I mean, 16 fights. 16 fights, and this dude trains like a freaking crazy madman. 2 of his losses, it was Marvin Vettori, and he ended up obviously getting knocked out by Israel Adesanya. You know, look at the decisions. 10 decisions. I mean, he's gone the distance. Look at Paulo. You know, 2 decisions, 9 KOs to 11 KOs. Obviously, 5 submissions from the Reaper. Same height, close to the same reach, and close to the same age. I mean, you guys talk about a matchup that is pretty equal in every position, other than the record and obviously the decision making. With Robert Whittaker being able to go to the distance. I mean, could this hurt a guy like Paulo? Knockouts are good, but what happens when you don't knock people out? That's where things change. But without further ado, can I hear Ozzy, 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 Ozzy? No, nobody, we don't have any Australians here? Okay. Let's talk about Robert Whittaker's strengths. It's his striking, man. Robert Whittaker particularly has a really good right hand, and boom, next you know it, he's sneaking in that right kick that makes this guy special. His movement, his lateral movements. He's very diverse. He's more of a blitz fighter if you really think about it. When I think of Robert Whittaker, I think of a guy that maybe has somewhat of a taekwondo, somewhat style, but that blitz and it has heavy hands. I mean, we saw Robert Whittaker stop some of the guys that people could never stop or pretty much hurt them. He has been a gatekeeper for the UFC, but on top of that, because of the high level competition that he has fought, it's his tactics and his IQ. I mean, this guy has an IQ. I mean, he's a former, you know, the only guy that I could really say that would cut somewhat of his kryptonite was Israel Adesanya. You know, and I'm still trying to understand why. But talk about his fight tactics and his anti-wrestling. I mean, how many people who have fought Robert Whittaker has made that decision that, hey, I'm going to take this dude down and I'm gonna hurt him, he's not going to get up. The only person that really kind of brought the wrestling to him was, you know, our champion now, Dricus du Plessis. But other than that, it's not like he never really held a guy like Robert Whittaker down, and Robert Whittaker also took him down too. So I still say this guy has great anti-wrestling, good takedown defense, and I think that only allows him to shine that much more because of his confidence. With championship experience comes a lot of, you know, you gain so much from that. You know, you could have a young buck that's coming up, but if he doesn't understand that 5-round feel against the top competitors, whew, good luck. I mean, you're talking about somebody who was able to go with Yoel Romero for 5 freaking rounds. You're just like, damn. Talk about the brutality. Talk about being in shape. You know, 40% of his fights have gone to the distance. You know, we don't necessarily always want to frown upon a decision, but what I'm gonna tell you is this dude's accustomed to fighting 5-minute rounds to eventually go in just 3 5s. He's gonna be whipping things out very quick. But let's talk about his weaknesses. You know, if there's one thing that I will say about Robert Whittaker, it's top control. I mean, there's so many opportunities that he couldn't really grab the wrist with a guy like Israel Adesanya. I mean, great takedowns, but could he hold guys like that down? You know, I think of a guy like Khabib Nurmagomedov. Are you studying a dude like that? Will you be humble enough to be like, hey, Khabib, I guarantee you call me, send a message, hey, can I go to Dagestan and just learn from you for a whole month? That's what I would do if I'm Robert Whittaker. I would really learn that top control, how to lace legs up, how to grab wrists. The other one is he keeps a low guard. He's almost like right here. And then he'll blitz. You know, like stuff like that will get you caught. You know, it's almost like he keeps his hands almost kind of somewhat closer to his chest, kind of like by his nipples, because he'll be in that position because that's how he feels comfortable. But when you fight guys that could really kick and really strike, Paulo Costa, he's caught your Romero with a high kick. He'll throw certain things like that. And the other thing too is like, you know, if I was to work with a guy like Robert Whittaker, I would really be like, hey man, let's pull the blitz out every once in a while now because everybody's studying that. Can you become a little more basic? Can you every once in a while maybe pepper that double jab, right hand, overhand? Or does everything always have to be a blitz? And these are things, guys, that if I'm to fight a guy like Robert Whittaker, I'll be timing those blitzes, particularly with takedowns. And to me, the biggest one, this one right here should almost be number one. Number one. Israel Adesanya chewed his leg up. Israel Adesanya did a really, really good job. Not just Israel Adesanya, but Dricus du Plessis. Dricus du Plessis in that fight with Robert, boom, boom, he would go southpaw, he would kick that leg. And when you do that, especially if you're a blitz fighter, you start to break down foundation because it takes power from the legs, from the toes, from the feet in order for you to pretty much cross distance, be able to strike somebody. But that's one of the things that I'm looking, if I'm Paulo Costa, I'm looking to kick his damn leg. And speaking about the meme god, the meme? Yeah, speaking about the meme god, Paulo Costa. His strengths. He's a risk taker, man. I know this guy very well. He's actually stayed here at my house. Like, you know, I guess we could say we're close, but it's still not gonna stop me from telling the truth because he needs to hear it. And I've told him this stuff. But either way, what makes this guy special? He's a kamikaze, man. Boom, boom, boom. He's a risk taker. Yeah, he does attack, but really his gift is to be able to go out and finish somebody. And same thing here, just like Robert Whittaker, great takedown defense. I mean, you talk about a guy who has takedown defense, that's really good. But when you're able to defend a guy like Romero, guys, and he's training with Captain America, Captain Eric Alvarez, and I know what they're doing. I know what he does. This is something you guys probably don't know. This dude's super good, man, in the submission game. He doesn't use it because he's just relied on his hands and he's become really good at it. But whenever Paulo decides to really kind of bring out that black belt, like a high-level black belt like his brother, he's underrated here. And if you're not careful, a submission will slip in. And part of it, what kind of pushes a guy like Paulo too, is the fact that he went from being mocked with Israel Adesanya, from being mocked by all these fans and the whole drinking and whatnot, that he became a fan favorite. And I think he has fun with that. And when you have fun with things, when you really enjoy what you're doing, even though you fight maybe once every year, if that, he's having fun. Like, he enjoys, in other words, he's a fan of the sport. And there's a lot to be said about that. But let's talk about his weaknesses. Because he is a risk taker. You know what happens when you're a risk taker? You can live by the sword, but you could also die by the sword. And that's supposed to be a sword. These are supposed to be swords, ladies and gentlemen. You guys see what I'm trying to get to? Because you give it, you can't always. The depletion of your cardiovascular, your threshold goes down. And it's just fact, it's science. Tactics, he does fight everybody the same. Other than Israel Adesanya, he fights everybody the same. He's gonna go in, he's gonna pressure, he's gonna go upper body, boom, he's gonna attack the body, which is another great thing that he does. But he does fight everybody the same. I was actually at his last fight. You know, me and Paulo Costa should probably be retired around the same time because I think we have the same amount of fights. And I was retired for 3 years. But the ring rust. I mean, you're talking about 820 of 22. The last time that Paulo's fought. I mean, can my producer add that up for me? How long has it been?
Like a year and what?
16 months? You guys got it? You sure, man? You sure, Joe Bear? 16 months without fighting. And a pretty favorable fight, too, with Luke Rockhold. You're not fighting Luke no more. You're fighting a guy who's a former champ who has gatekept the division for such a long time. And sometimes you don't know if he's gonna show up or not. God, Paulo, you know what? This is my producer, but you know what? He ain't wrong. He ain't wrong. We do gotta talk about it. You don't know, I don't even know if he's gonna show up, honestly, UFC 298. I really don't. I'm even surprised at UFC. I thought we were the co-main event, but I'm surprised that they made them the co-main event because with Paulo, you just don't know. Staff, something. I mean, of course, things always happen, but it's just too much, guys. He's had 5 canceled fights since 2021. You know what I'm saying? But because the UFC likes him, because he is a fan favorite, because he has that accent, and because he is a great fighter, you would think the UFC would cut him. But they're like, no, this guy's too much of a commodity. He don't care. So who is it, guys? I mean, you know, we have Robert Whittaker versus Paulo Costa, strikes landed per minute. Check this out. This dude's more active. Strikes absorbed per minute. Understands the distance game a little bit better. Striking accuracy, because he takes more risk. Takedown accuracy, that's what I'm saying. Look at this. And then takedown defense. Oof. Damn. I love bringing it down to this test because then you start to really see of where is it that maybe certain people could possibly be exposed. You know? But who is it, guys? Who is it that's more likely gonna win? You know, it's hard to count out a guy like Robert Whittaker. It is. And obviously I am close friends with Paulo Costa. Is he prepared to fight, man? Will he fight? That's my biggest thing. But with a guy like Robert Whittaker, you can never count him out. You just can't, man. Who am I cheering for? I'm cheering for Paulo. Who am I putting my money on? Honestly, guys, I really don't know. That's up to you guys to decide. So again, guys, I mean, if I had to literally pick somebody, I just can't, dude. I can't, but I hope Paulo's ready. And I don't want to do him like that, but I hope he's ready for a guy like that because it has been a very, very long time. And he is going up against a guy that loves to play the distance game with explosive power. And who knows, he might be looking into takedowns, knowing how explosive and how hard this dude hits. So it's up to us to find out at UFC 298. That's right, guys. You guys just watched an episode of Tell the Tape. I'm your host, Henry Cejudo, aka Triple C, and you guys know I will always deliver. And this episode wouldn't be possible without our sponsor. That's right, I'm talking about Aptive. If you're a former fighter, former wrestler, somebody who doesn't know what they want to do quite yet, but still wants to compete, Are you a person that doesn't take no for an answer? Well, I got the place for you. That's right. It's called Aptive. These guys will literally house you. They will teach you how to sell. Yes, you will be going door to door knocking, but guess what? It's the 1%ers. I know between 17, 18-year-old kids that are making $500,000 to $1 million a year, because once you understand sales, you will take it to the top. You become an entrepreneur. Again, guys, thank you guys so much. So you guys make sure to go to summersales.org/Triple C, because it is time to level up. Till next time, I'm out.